Hello again. In this video I want to look at solid surface, Corian, Styron. This is one of my favorite bench tops. This is a bench top being clamped together. If we go back to that little piece, it's a fairly thin material. It's 12 mil thick. Corian and Styron high-tech. There's a few brands that are Laminates used to make one, and I think got out of it. But the good brands are all acrylic and mineral mixed together. It comes in sheets and it's then joined, but the joins are virtually invisible. I used to tell people they were invisible, but I can get into trouble. They're very, very difficult to find, especially in a pattern material like this. One of the negatives with it is it's very labor intensive. It can't be mass produced. Once the cabinets are installed, they'll come and take a template. They'll take that template away to a workshop and they will put it together in a controlled environment. You can see this edge piece is being glued on. Once that's been glued on and sanded back, or this edge is rounded, it's almost impossible to see where that joint is. Because it's so labor intensive, I strongly suggest you stick to certified fabricators. If you're not sure, ask them what the history is. It's just like it's such a tradesman's job that any problems, and you will hear people saying, oh, don't get Corian, don't get Styron, don't get solid surface. Those problems have all come from the workmanship, I can guarantee you that. I've seen Corian bench tops in excess of 30 years old, and the only thing that was wrong with them is in the old days the glue wasn't quite as good. The sheets come about 3.6 by 760, 3600 and something by 760, very long material, but it is joined, and it's joined using these brackets that hold everything together, very labor intensive. If the joins are done properly, you will never have an issue. And it can also be heated up and bent, which, you know, the design possibilities become endless. It's seamless, it's extremely hygienic, it can be heated up and bent. This is a kitchen of mine. I've raised the dishwasher. The people had a bad back, but this bench top comes up and over, down, all in Corian. There are joins, but you cannot find those joins when you're there on site. It's a really very hygienic material. You can curve it in this direction as well as the other direction. You can cove it up the splashback here. You see this is the splashbacks. Again, going back to our first piece, you'll see what I mean. This is a piece of splashback that's been added on, but it's nice and curved in there, so no join, no crack for any dirt to get into. Really very, very very hygienic. You can get a range of molded sinks. This sink is supplied by Corian or by Styron if you're doing Styron as a unit, but it's then glued into position when the bench top is fabricated, and it comes in as a seamless unit. Very, very hygienic. There's no other sink on the market that'll seal into any material the way these guys can integrate the sinks. This is the bowl as it's delivered, formed by Corian, supplied as a unit to the fabricator who fits it in. This is a Corian bench top in a laboratory. I put that there because it's the most hygienic. This is a Styron top, but Corian itself is Styron. They're one of the most hygienic materials. They tell me that they use them in the lab for researching the AIDS virus, because even the viruses can't travel along the top. It's the most non-porous material that you can use. You cannot stain it. No, I've left red wine on a Corian bench top in a kitchen showroom for 2 weeks, and I wiped it off. 9 times out of 10 it'll wipe off with a damp cloth or a damp chucks. I think I had to use a little bit of spray and wipe once. It can be buffed out if there was scratches. Now this is one negative with the materials. It can show refraction scratches on the top surface. So I did a kitchen once for a lady who was a potter, did a lot of pottery, And she had a beautiful home set on the side of a cliff. And when the sun came up in the morning, it looked like the bench top was really covered in scratches. Turned out that these little minute scratches had come from the rough bottom on her pottery dishes and cups, which she obviously had plenty of. But we were able to buff those out. Now these little marks are, they're non-existent. They exist, sorry, but they can be buffed out and the bench top can come back up like new. So they show up a lot more in darker colors. The black corian dark greys I would never use because the little scratch marks are going to show up. If you read the fine print from them, from Corian themselves nowadays, I think they actually admit to this. So my rule of thumb when I'm designing a kitchen for people, dark bench tops, you go granite, natural stone. Light bench tops, the optimum situation is Corian. It may be quite expensive depending where you are. The material itself is not that expensive. It's just that there's a lot of labor involved in it. However, the stuff is seriously bulletproof. I just want to show you this last couple of photos here. This is a bench top that's cracked. Usually when you've had problems, it's come from back in the days when they had unlicensed fabricators and cheaper glues. The unlicensed fabricators didn't often fit enough. Let me see if I can find you a photo here of these substrates. Enough of the here underneath. You see these support pieces going through on the substrata. They didn't do that enough. So if it's done properly with a licensed fabricator, after 30 years, and I've seen this with my own eyes, after 15 years it's easy. For a few $100s, someone can come in, buff that top back with professional buffers, and that kitchen top will look like the day it was put in. I'm not saying it'll look okay. I'm saying that after 15 years that top will look like the day that it was put in, and that's a pretty remarkable thing. Going back to our damage here, pieces of damage can be cut out. So what's happened here is the guy has taken a sink out, and then he's cut a piece out, he's put another piece in, and he's joined it up. Now, when that glue has set, which can take a little bit of time, he's going to buff all that back, and with that color you will find it extremely difficult to see where there's ever been a repair done. So you can actually cut out, if you had a hole in the middle of the bench top or a crack, you could cut a hole, cut a square out, put a piece in. And in fact, most good fabricators, when they install the original kitchen, will take the cutout piece from the hot plate and the cutout piece from the sink, and they will glue them or stick them onto the back of the cabinet before the drawers go in, so up against the wall before the drawers go in, so that there's always a couple of pieces on site to do a patch up if it's ever necessary. I've only ever known of a couple of cases where it's been necessary, but hey, isn't that a great backup to have? So that's solid surface, extremely hygienic, great product. You can do lots of things with it, and it's tremendous value for money. I sell a lot of it. I've actually won a couple of Corian's design awards over the years. I'll continue to use it. I think it's a remarkable product, and I'm not saying hey use it. I'm saying go and have a look and see if it's available to you, and something you can recommend to your clients with all safety. All right, we'll leave it at that, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.